Good morning everyone, welcome to the next Vlogmas video. Sorry there wasn't one yesterday. I went to go and get my hair cut. When I get my hair cut, it's so springy. Anyway, after that I really didn't feel very well, so I basically got into bed and that was the end of my day. I asked you on Instagram to ask me a bunch of questions, and also I've had so many questions on all of my videos. I've never posted this many videos in quick succession before, so I'm a little overwhelmed with how many comments I'm getting, and it's pretty amazing. So I just wanted to thank you for that. But I thought I'd answer a bunch of your questions today and take you through my morning, just, make it a bit more of an interesting kind of Q&A type day, if that's what you're into. I'll put some timestamps, so if there are any questions that you're particularly interested in understanding about, then you can just ignore the stuff that's not interesting to you and go straight to the stuff that is. We'll also be doing a tempeh update because it's still in the oven. That's why the oven light is on. Okay, we're going to check on the tempeh. It's been about 38 hours and it's definitely looking fuzzy, mostly on the top, and I think that's because I use a glass bottom, so I think it's going to take longer for the bottom, and I'm not sure if I should just flip it, but I had to use cling film on the top. Not ideal, but if this works then we'll definitely figure out a better solution so I don't have to use any plastic packaging. We may even have to build a water bath. You can tell that it's super fuzzy all on the top, less so here, and then the underneath is a little inconsistent. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how this happens. I'm excited to see how this goes because it's looking really good so far. So yeah, we can leave it for a bit longer and see how it develops, and then we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's start with some questions because otherwise we're just gonna do what Amy does best and just ramble. Ramble. Actually, one of the most asked questions is, are we buying or renting, or will we buy in the future? And to be honest, we're renting this place. It would be madness to buy a house in a place that we both have never lived before and are only planning on living, well, for the foreseeable future, but also temporarily. We just don't know. We're just not sure. I have been saving to buy a house probably for the past 4 years, and I still don't have enough for like a full deposit for a house. So obviously, I wasn't taking into consideration him being able to participate in that just in case. I don't foresee us being able to afford a house for a good few years at least. So I don't think that we would end up buying a house in the US. I still don't have a US bank account. I still don't have my adjusted status. Still can't earn any money into the US. So it's even just buying a car, which I'll get onto later, is difficult. Someone has asked, why don't you publish a cookbook? I think I've been very honest about my cooking journey, and I don't see myself as someone who has the right to tell other people how to do things. I'm still learning, and that's what I love about what I've created on this channel, is I'm taking you along on my learning journey and hopefully inspiring you to just try something, like try making a loaf of bread, try making, things like tempeh. Sorry, the squirrels are having an absolute party in the garden today. Yeah, I just want to inspire you to try new things, and I don't see myself as an authority because I'm buying books and reading about things and trying to best understand how to do these things myself. Yeah, so I don't see myself as an authority to tell you how to do any of that kind of stuff. To be honest, most of these are just very, very lovely comments. Also, thank you for the recommendations of where to find Marmite, because I was thinking about having to get my mom to send me some. And that's not great, is it? How is married life and living together going? To be honest, being married, nothing really feels very different. Maybe we feel more like a unit, or I actually feel like I have to make more effort in my relationship. Like, I can't take things for granted, or that I shouldn't take things for granted, because just because someone has, agreed to marry you and be with you now doesn't mean that they're always going to feel that way. I don't know. I always feel like relationships are always a work in progress, and they're always something that should be built upon, like a house. But living together has been really good. I'm really untidy, and I have been really spoiled in my life because I've been living with people that would honestly just tidy up after me. I know that sounds so bad, so I would never really learn to do things myself. he tidies so much that I feel so bad. So I really have changed and have become I'm still untidy, but I'm actually better at tidying up after myself. Yeah, sharing the load of keeping the house nice and clean and tidy. I definitely have more things, and I'm much more likely to just put things down rather than put things away, and I'm definitely trying to work on that. Okay, so I got a lot of questions about the garden and what we're going to be doing in the garden, and I have no plans yet because I'm still not sure about the Colorado weather, when the last frost is, and what you actually can grow here. The last people actually grew some tomatoes, which looks really, really, really good, and basil and things like that. So definitely going to be doing a lot of planning over the next few months, thinking about containers that we can have in the garden, we can build, we can buy, all of that kind of stuff, and then just really go from there. Is anything different this time living in the US compared to before? Yes, everything is different. Last time I was here temporarily as a student, I had very few cares in the world. I was 22. I was here, I had a structure. So I was going to university. I had a purpose for being here. I had a routine and a schedule that I did every single day. And I was automatically meeting hundreds of people. So it's very different because here as an adult you have to make a real effort to go and meet people, and I'm trying to meet a lot of people just like in the wild. So I joined a CrossFit gym, and even though I don't necessarily go to classes very often, I mostly just go to open gym because I like to do weightlifting and I like the space. I much prefer that to a conventional gym. And just through literally being there and trying things out and asking people questions, it's a way to make friends with people or build those connections and try to build a community. Yeah, it's an interesting experience. So definitely meeting people and that kind of thing has been one of the biggest things. But someone also asked if I was going to do a meetup, and once I get to know Denver a little bit better and the weather's a bit more predictable, then yes, 100%. I'd love to do meetups, and I would like to do them on a regular basis so that we're all doing something, like we're going on a hike together, or we're going climbing, or we're just hanging out and having a picnic in the park. That would be really fun. Okay, hobbies you want to spend more time on in 2023. Definitely learning languages. Learning languages is definitely something I want to spend more time on. I really got into it last year with French, and I was taking French lessons and I was really absorbed in it. I was listening to French things and I was getting really good at my French listening. My speaking, not as much, but my listening is really good. So I really want to spend more time doing that. I definitely want to read more, but also mostly I want to be outside. I really just want to be outside doing stuff. We've been talking to our new friend, Dina, and she's been helping us to find ways to make taking up skiing more affordable, because we can drive there and drive back, so we don't have to pay to stay somewhere. We can buy secondhand things, we can rent things, and because something like skiing, there is a really high price point or entry point. So doing things like that, but also want to get into snowshoeing because obviously I have all of it hiking stuff, and at places like REI you can buy rental snowshoes, or you can buy stuff like that. So it's really easy to get things more affordably and cheaper. So that's kind of something I'm going to be thinking about. But mostly hiking, swimming, biking, skiing, snowshoeing, all of those things too. And I would like to take up a new instrument. I haven't played an instrument for a while. I used to play piano, saxophone and clarinet. Piano I kept up, but saxophone and clarinet I did not. So I'm thinking maybe a stringed instrument. Those have never been my forte, so maybe. How did you find a place to rent in a state you didn't live in? So what we did is we went on Zillow and apartments.com and spent ages looking through all of those just to see what was available. And then we actually came to Denver for a week and we went to see as many rentals as possible. And this was actually the first place that we saw, and we were so lucky to get it. We just basically came here, visited, and got really lucky. How are you doing these days? Lots of people have said that I seem very different, my energy seems different and I just seem much happier. And it has genuinely made me realize that being at my parents' house waiting made me very, very sad and low, and it took away a lot of my energy. I felt very fatigued a lot of the time. But I feel like now that I'm here, have my own space. I can film much more reliably. I don't have to please ask people if I can use the kitchen and they can do something else, because obviously it's not my space. It just feels a lot more freeing, I think. Obviously, I really miss my friends and my family. A couple of days, was it yesterday? I think it might have even been yesterday or the day before. No, it was the day before. I had a Zoom call with all my friends to meet my friends' new babies, and it was just so nice to see everyone. And it definitely, especially around this time of year, makes me miss them. But no, I'm just so excited for particularly next year. A full year, us living together in this new place, trying out new things, meeting new people, and just, I don't know, this new energy has definitely also made me just absolutely love creating content again. Like, I just love YouTube. Instagram is not really my thing, but YouTube, oh, I love it. How do you feel so far in Denver? I love Denver. It is different. I mean, I've had to learn to drive in Denver because even though there is quite a walkable city if you're staying in your area, but if you want to get somewhere else, it's really, really, really far. So I've had to learn to drive, and people who drive in Denver, I've never seen any driving like it before. Okay. It's scary. It's very scary, but I really like it. It's not like London at all. In some ways it feels kind of it. I mean, everyone is so friendly here. Like, I've never been somewhere where people are so friendly, ever. And that's really nice. Which foods or ingredients do you already miss from the UK? Well, Marmite, definitely miss that. I think I mostly miss like the affordability of food. In the UK, it's so much cheaper. And also chocolate, and no offense, but chocolate made in the US is not good at all. I also don't like a lot of vegan chocolate. It's like, I don't like it very much at all, so I usually tend to eat like dark chocolate. But yeah, I think Marmite is a big one. The affordability of food is definitely a big one. I will also add hummus, but only specifically store-bought hummus. Store-bought hummus in the UK is really good, but store-bought hummus in the US is not good at all. Just my opinion, but it's not good. You have to go to a specialty shop, or you have to go to a specific restaurant that also sells their hummus to make sure that you're getting really good hummus. But yeah, I'm mostly talking about store-bought hummus. It's not good. And I'm looking for a specific place in Denver to find really good hummus, so if you have any recommendations, please let me know. Mary's asked a question. I am wondering how you manage the situation of having Christmas dinner with your husband's family and being vegan. It's a bit of a personal question, so obviously don't skip it if you want. No, this is a great question. His mum actually predominantly eats vegan vegetarian, as do his sisters. So it's actually not hard at all because they consider me. I think they still make like a meat dish for Christmas. We actually, any time that we've spent Christmas with his family, have actually made dishes ourselves to bring so that it makes it easier, so that we know we'll have something that we both like to eat, but also don't put the onus on people who aren't vegan, vegetarian to make food that we would like. Because then sometimes when we can bring a dish that's really delicious, then we can help show that actually vegan food could be pretty good. What's been the hardest part of moving? Have you had to adjust lots? I didn't think I would, but actually, yes, I've had to adjust a lot to a lot of different things. The driving thing is one. I still don't have my bike, so that's why I'm driving. And also a lot of the roads are, like if you're going to specific areas of Denver, they have humongous roads that you can't really cycle on. Definitely having to adjust to driving in Denver and the sort of US laws around turning right on red and looking for pedestrians like that, and all these different laws that I didn't kind of know were a thing. Stop signs. I know that they're right in front of you, but when you're not used to having stop signs, you just don't register them. And that's been a learning curve. Obviously the weather is very dry here, so I've got to adjust my skincare and even my hair care. I asked the person who cut my hair yesterday a lot about how to adjust for dry weather and having to spritz my hair and all this kind of stuff. So the climate has definitely changed a lot. The weather is people even asked, they were like, weren't you just in the snow a few days ago? And in Denver, the snow comes, the snow leaves, the sun comes out. Like, that's just how it works. Do you miss England? Yes, I do miss England a lot. I miss everything about it. I miss its quaintness and its smallness. I miss hearing English voices. I miss the English countryside. I miss my friends. I miss the food. Not that I think that British food is very good at all. It's like the home comforts that you grew up having and that you reach for when you're not having a good day, all those kind of things. But that doesn't mean that I don't love being here and I see the opportunity of being here and all the incredible things that we're able to do. I don't miss it on like a day-to-day level, on like a very like visceral level. I miss it on like a low level. Oh, I wish I could get that tea, or I wish I could get that biscuit, or that kind of thing. But day-to-day, I don't really think about it, to be honest. What surprised you the most living in the US so far? I think just how expensive food is, honestly. Everything else I kind of knew and understood, but food. Whew. Okay, sorry, I got super bright there. Apologies for that. What's your husband's job? I'm curious since he could move away from the city. Well, I try to keep him and his stuff private, so I guess all I'll say is he works in journalism, so he can do everything online. How do you and your partner split the bills? We just split everything down the middle. That's pretty much it. What do you miss about your hometown? I very much miss the vegan restaurants in London, honestly. I miss being able to walk to my gym. I could walk to my gym here, it's about a 25-minute walk, but it's on a super busy road and it's a 3 to 5 minute drive, so I can't really cycle. I could walk, but it's not a pleasant walk at all. So I miss that. What's your favorite dish? Personally, I love lasagna. That's like my favorite thing, especially in winter with a little green salad. What goals do you have for the next year? Honestly, my biggest goal is to make absolute use of every single spare minute and hour and day to go outside and really explore Colorado. I mean, the reason why we came here was because we wanted to explore this whole state, and yeah, there are other things close by that we're super interested in exploring, like, Wyoming, Montana, Utah, more of Arizona, maybe even California, Pacific Northwest if we can get over there. But we really want to just explore our own state because it's just so beautiful. And yeah, that's my only goal for next year, really. Okay, this video, before it gets super long, I'm gonna stop it here because otherwise it's gonna get really boring. But if you have any more questions, then please leave them down below and I will try to answer all of them in the comments or maybe in another video. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. I hope I got to answer your questions and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.